Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ESL Challenger League Season 48. We are here once again for the European edition. I'm Nari Mizuki. I'm going to be one of your casters for today. It is my first cast for ECL this season. I'm super hyped. And I'm joined, of course, as usual, by the wonderful Grimmy Rana, or Freddy. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well. It's also very hyped to have you back. I know it's been a long time waiting, but it's really good to have you back on the cast, back on ESL Challenger. And to be honest, I think you've come in at the perfect time. It's like we've had those early results, right, and now we're kind of wrapping up the group stages. So you've come at the more of the exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of teams now fighting tooth and nail for that kind of last chance to get into playoffs and have a shot at running through. And speaking of, why don't we take a look at our groups and see how things or what teams have been competing recently. And of course, for tonight, we're going to be over on Group C. But there's been a lot of Counter-Strike happening throughout the last few weeks. Freddy, why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown of some of the more exciting things that have happened?
I think for sure, even though we are in Group C, this is kind of maybe the one I want to highlight the most because it's the most hype. Like, Namiga are at the top, which is something I did not expect after they obviously lost Flammus to Gamer Legion. I thought they'd take a massive hit. Group D is incredibly stacked, and especially with the fact that Monty don't have Stiko currently because he's had an operation, I think on his wrist or something. There's something going on. They're using a stand-in, or I don't know what they're doing. I think they forfeited their recent games in CCT. So you've got that really interesting thing. TSM are looking really sharp in Group A, and then you've got Source and Gal are kind of bouting off the first and second in Group B.
It's really cool to see TSM doing well as well, because when they first jumped in, they were really just not getting results. So yeah, so it's really great to see that they've kind of bounced back a little bit. But as I mentioned, we're here in Group C, and this is where our standings are at the moment. Para have played all of their matches. Unfortunately, they are out of contention. The two teams that we're going to be seeing today, ARCRED versus Team Space. Now for ARCRED, they're still in with a shot, Freddy.
Yeah, Team Space are definitely fighting for salvation, and I guess if they win if they win their next two games and ARCRED and Aurora lose, one of the teams lose both, then I guess they actually they'll be automatically keeping their ESL Challenger spot. Para, it's actually ex-Para now from about a couple hours ago. Organization dropped them, even though they have an RMR spot most likely, with the fact they're top 43rd in the world right now. And I think the RMRs at the end of this month get decided by the H2 rankings. Namiga, Bait, and Aurora, your kind of top three teams that should be going through as first and second. Namiga, as I already mentioned, big surprise, 4-0, not so anticipated. Bait and Aurora are both in insane form right now. And if I'm not mistaken, both of them have... Oh, so Bait are yet to play Namiga. And I think for Aurora, they've lost to ARCRED yesterday, which was a massive, massive surprise for me. This Group C is not quite formulating the way I expected.
Oh, well, you know what? CS is a bit of a fickle mistress, whether it's your org dropping you or it's upsets that you were just not expecting. That's what keeps us entertained and keeps us engaged. And if I could just hyper-focus a little bit on, ARCRED and Space, our two teams for today, and I'll do this as we kind of look at our schedule. ARCRED are actually in a situation where Team Space were 2 seasons back. Just come through from ESEA Advanced, looking to kind of make a name for themselves. And whereas Team Space had done really well in their first season, 2 seasons back, they've kind of hit a bit of a backslide. ARCRED, however, looking poised to go up into playoffs. So very, very exciting. And of course, that's going to be here on our stream. Over on our A stream, we're going to have Movistar Koi versus Sashi Esports. So if you want to go check that out, make your way over to there.
Yeah, Team Space had a really awkward season last season because I think they made a bunch of roster changes mid-season. So when you enter a season like this of ESL Challenger, where you've just had a player break, you've got Danist feeling more comfortable in the AWP because he's actually finally back on it after Bet Boom. a lot of things would point towards them doing well, especially with some of their recent form, you know, kind of consistently making playoffs in the likes of CCT. But this up and down, they've been looking quite up and down recently. And I think the down is them going 0-3 in CCT in one of the main Swisses, and then, well, 0-3 here. They were dead last in their group last season, and they're looking to potentially repeat that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. Obviously, here we've got our rosters up on our screen for you guys to have a look at. And, you know, you look at the history between these two teams, and it's kind of gone in favor of Team Space, but you have to look at the intervals at which those games were played. I mean, these were not games that were played kind of back to back really close together. The last time they played was in January, and prior to that, it was August last year. Prior to that, it was July last year. So that was a little bit closer. It was a bit back and forth in those 2 months, but Space have kind of come out ahead. And the most recent one, which was in January, was only a best of one. So there's all these like little caveats and asterisks that we have to put onto this matchup between these two teams, and that makes it really difficult to call. I think on paper, if you're looking at their history, you're like, okay, well, Space probably have this, but you look at how ARCRED have been doing recently, the fact that they have the two teams that they've lost to are the two teams that are currently top in the group. So you're almost going, yeah, fair enough. And coming up against Space, yeah, it looks like maybe, you know, maybe they can get that upset that they've been hoping for.
And to be fair, both teams have drastically changed their rosters since. Obviously, with the Zagev and Danis joining for Space, that you would think would actually be an upgrade. And I'm staying with that. I actually had to remember who my talent prediction was for a second. I think, like, when you look at Team Space, on paper they've upgraded. Statistically and from results they have not. And then when you look at ARCRED, they've downgraded, not because of the players they've brought in, because of the one guy they lost of Ryujin. He is touted as definitely one of the next up-and-coming stars, and I think his pickup into one win is a big vindication of that. But then Cynics, who didn't necessarily directly replace him, it was Get Jekka who replaced Ryujin. Cynics, who replaced Herzlix Diard. That's a name in itself. But Cynics has been playing out of his mind and is actually reaching statistics that were better than Ryujin when he was on this roster.
And of course, my team that I'm going to be going for is going to be ARCRED, just because recency bias. Why not?
Fair, you know? Yeah, fair.
But of course, you mentioned a player to watch, Danis. He's somebody that we actually, he was our player to watch last season when this very team went up against Alternate Attacks and the tables were turned. I was the one rooting for Team Space, and I was actually correct that day. You were wrong. I just thought I'd bring that up. Who would have been? Alternate Attacks.
Oh yeah, that was the battle. That was when it was, you know, that's when they got a little bit, you know, stuff happens. You know, it happens. But Alternate Attack's a team that, yeah, there's something in itself.
But why don't you tell us a little bit more about Danis, right? For anybody who isn't aware.
So Danis, as I kind of mentioned, like, he's probably firstly one of the players that most people, he's probably the one player that everyone should know, because it was time in Bet Boom. He came through as a big unknown quantity, surrounded by very experienced players. You know, they've made runs at IM Sydney, they made playoffs there, and that actually put a lot of pressure on him, and I think his performance dipped, and he comes and makes this downgrade onto Team Space. But what makes this downgrade really interesting is that he's actually been put back on the AWP. We've seen it a few times in history with like Mango, with Ecstatic, and then Chauzy with like when he was AWPing, secondary AWPing with Apex, and now with Johnny Speed. But Danis is back on his AWP, even though he got put on a rifle in Bet Boom, and statistically he's been doing a lot better. But actually in ESL Challenger, he's been really struggling, and he's definitely someone where if they want to win this game, he has to really step up, because he has not been specifically in this tournament, and no one kind of has actually for Team Space.
Well, there is no match without map, so there they are on your screen, folks. The veto is available for us. The bans coming through look pretty as usual. ARCRED had actually banned Nuke and Dust 2 recently, but historically Vertigo has been kind of their insta, so makes sense to see that go through, thank goodness. And then, of course, Inferno getting banned out is a bit rough for ARCRED because it's statistically their best map at the moment. We head over to Mirage first up, and then Nuke. And Mirage is also an interesting one because ARCRED have looked really good on that recently as well. So, but it's a really bad one currently for Space. So that could be a really big like momentum swinger at the beginning.
Yeah, I think they've played it 7 times since the player break has ended, and that in itself is quite a lot on one map, and haven't exactly been doing too well, with only 1 win over Copenhagen Wolves, which I think was intermittently changing its IGL at that time, but losing to teams like Permitter, who are maybe the most up and down team in like tier 2 and 3, a struggling Endpoint, Pera, BC Game, don't blame them, you know, they had a few things probably going against them playing a team like that, but I think this is leading up definitely for ARCRED to take map 1, but then I would most certainly see us going to a map 3, because I've seen Team Space play Nuke before. They're really good on it, and specifically Danist, our Kadia player to watch, like he has been and is phenomenal on this map, and everything I've watched him, I think he's been very explosive.
And even the float map, Anubis, this is the map that Space often pick into if Nuke gets banned. So that's another map that they feel incredibly comfortable on. So overall, I think that the veto kind of favors Space a little bit here, but you know what? I'm going to give ARCRED the benefit of the doubt. You know, they were my predicted team. And to be fair, they've been looking really good on Anubis as well. 8-4 record in the last few months. And given that a lot of the last few months was player break, it's like a lot of like maps in a very short amount of time. So that's a lot of reps that they've had done. So I'm hoping that they're going to pull through because, you know, predictions, they're very important to me and I do enjoy being right. But we head over onto Nuke. You've said that you've seen Space play on this before. They look really good. What are we kind of expecting from ARCRED here?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've watched ARCRED once since they changed region. Like you see it sometimes with ESL Challenger teams they tend to exclusively play ESL Challenger, and ARCRED's a little bit like that. So I have a lot of eye tests and data that I've seen from Space, and for ARCRED, like that isn't the case. So when we're coming onto Nuke, like one thing I would just assume is just that we see Stinix. Like he's been playing fantastic. Not only he's the highest rated player for ARCRED in both just the last 3 months, but also specifically in ESL Challenger, he's been absolutely phenomenal. And he's got he's only player above a 1 rating on his team in this tournament, which is like, it shows that there definitely is a big lean to him. So we're going to be seeing him in a big rifle duo against someone like Zagev, and Zagev just hasn't been playing that well either. And I think for ARCRED, they've got a big momentum coming off the back of beating Aurora on Anubis and Mirage, and with Ancient not in the veto, which they got demolished on yesterday, you look at Mirage and Anubis, you're like, hold on a second, that's in the veto. And if they're able to take Aurora, not comfortably, but they're able to fight them into the trenches in a very long best of 3, Aurora Space, I'm favoring Aurora in that. And then if ARCRED can beat Aurora, you'd think that they'd be able to beat Space, but Counter-Strike, as you've said, is a fickle mistress. Who knows?
A little bit of rock, paper, scissors going on. While we figure that out, while the players get loaded up into the server, we're going to take a short break, folks. Let us know what you think. And when we return, we'll find out who actually comes out on top.
And thank you for bearing with us. We are here. We are in the game. Team Space versus ARCRED. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the final game for ARCRED in the group stage and the penultimate game for Team Space. Team Space, they're looking to survive. They haven't won a single map this season yet. And ARCRED, well, if they win this, they could legitimately make it through first and second, but I think there might be a head-to-head with Bait, so I'm not sure exactly how that's decided, but a lot on the line for both sides. Survival or seeding, pretty much. And so we put a lot of emphasis on Team Space actually winning this through. I had them as my prediction, but recency bias, which you've gone off, Sam, does favor ARCRED, to be fair.
We'll see how this does pan out, as now ARCRED have already started to make their way in. Oh, but instantly that first shot's going to come through for Team Space. That's going to give them that numbers advantage, but Sight's going to get relatively overrun. Danis, player to watch, only good for one before he's traded out. And the rest of Team Space are so far away. Need to rotate in, but there is a body in it holding that one lurk location. One more player to come through the T-spawn, which could be a bit of a surprise, a bit of a backstab. Might be just what they need. With no kid on board and the bomb already planted, they need to speed up.
Zagav's the main man. Free first kill. Invisible dropped. SHG, nice trade. He just has to bide his time because look at the SSJ. He's got this long range angle. He has been spotted in this smoke on the bomb, but there's no kit. Never mind. Trunic, sharp shooting. And I think there should be enough time. Team Space, a pretty clean retake, but Trunic, I think that's all him. That was some nice shots.
Yeah, trying to go, like, playing a more retake oriented defensive setup without buying into a kit on a pistol, very dangerous, but Trunic comes up absolutely massive, and it helps that you do get those early picks on site. That first initial pick that comes through, followed up by the pick from Danis. Yes, they do get traded out, but it buys a little bit of time. It gives time for Space to start rotating in, and I like the pathing that they take. Instead of everyone kind of rushing in from the same direction, they try and split up and pincer in, so they're able to encircle quite nicely, and ARCRED just cannot hold on to the bomb.
I honestly thought ARCRED had the good setup there, and especially with time on their side, they should have probably been winning their post plants there. Will that be a theme? Will post plants be an issue? ARCRED, because of the bomb down, it's $600, not $800 anymore. But they still have a substantial buy with good utility, 2 secondary rifles, and this mid take, taking contact both in short and connector. A lot of early map control, taken, but where do they actually go from here? And I think with that kill on short, it should be them accelerating towards that position, unless Danis can have something to say about it. Nice nade, but he instantly gets traded, and ARCRED, even though they've lost the bomb... Oh, wait, no, they've lost the bomb on short. I was going to say, even though, they'd probably still be fine. The bomb's on short. Zagev is going to now realize, wait, guys, I have the bomb, but he peeks and get Rex him.
That was a wild one, just because of, it was a bit of a force from ARCRED after getting that bomb plant, which makes sense, obviously, but you're not necessarily expecting them to be able to walk away with that one, and the fact that they do not only economic damage, but manage to steal the round as well, leaves Space in such a difficult position here. And, I mean, after that short kill, you start thinking, okay, maybe they speed up B. You know, generally speaking, your strong side A, you get that mid player. B should be relatively free to hit, but no, instead, they speed up towards A. Danis gets that double, and the fact that they bring it back with such inferior weaponry, really, really well played here, but can they keep that momentum?
It's going to be difficult. They're being crunched upon in ramp. Will they just take 3 players here? This is messy. Trunic, 5-7. Oh, it's on fire, but jumping into Invisible's hands, it's a 2 versus 2. That ramp play shouldn't have worked that well, especially when both Foz and Verta died. But Danis and Zagev, can they get this over the line now? Execute. They're going to have to be re-putting these smokes. It's all faded. I'm not sure if Invisible swung towards CT, but definitely has now, and dunked on, leaves Zagev all alone. They haven't seen him yet. Spotted. 5-7 at range. Isn't the best, and I think he's just been dinked. Get Jekka the second dink for him in this round, in this 2 versus 2. And yeah, his time is nigh. Bomb's just going to get planted. ARCRED, they're playing it safe and sound, and I think a save here is not the worst. At least, I guess he'll have armor and 5-7 in the next round. So I think, yeah, an unwinnable retake. You may as well count your losses there. But Trunic, I don't know what more else he could have done there.
Yeah, I mean, bearing in mind, this was just a pistol round. Obviously upgraded pistols, but pistols nevertheless. And they still do so much damage. Taking out 3 of ARCRED's players is pretty big in and of itself. But this is where that momentum thing starts to become a problem, right? I said it kind of as this round was starting. Can ARCRED keep it up? And if they do, then that little bit of economic damage stops really mattering. This round, they're going to be comfortable. They're going to be happy. But Space, less so. Opting to force into those pistols means that now they have even less cash to work with in this round. It's that double eco that, you know, the bane of so many teams. We're staring down a 3rd round here for ARCRED. Still early days, thankfully, but we need to see some adaptation here from Team Space in the next round. This one is more or less a bit of a throwaway, but hopefully in the next we start to see some changes.
That play in the last round was sound. It was just the... It probably wouldn't have had any success if Trunic hadn't got a triple. They were setting themselves up pretty well, but it kind of just all fell apart. They didn't seem exactly like they were fine together. There was good flashbangs, actually, from ARCRED. I think it blinded literally everyone, including their own players. But right now, Invisible... searching the A bomb site a little bit, seeing if he's just trying to find if there's a stack anywhere, and I don't think he realizes, but everyone's around him. So as he spots those 2 players on A, he's gonna tell his team the information. They're gonna speed up over towards the B bomb site, and the read is correct. There was that gamble towards A, and it's very useful sending your Mac 10 in like that. He dies, goes 1 for 1. That's completely fine because he gets the information.
Yeah, and the fact that players are spotted out both in mid and towards Palace means that there's a very good chance that, as you said, right, it's that big gamble stack. So they're able to speed up, bomb gets planted. Now we look for a little bit of damage here from Team Space. If they can try to take some guns away, maybe even, you know, get a kill, steal the gun, run the hell away, that would be fantastic. The round itself is absolutely over. And they're trying to kind of encircle them a little bit here, make it difficult for them to get away. Unfortunately, with no bodies over in mid, they still do have a way out. Fairly safe, fairly easy to get through. No real issues here. So unfortunately, those exits don't seem to be happening.
You spoke.
There's one.
That's the caster curse right there. Like you spoke literally as it shouldn't have happened. Bam. Tunic gets. He's a 5'7" demon. He's got majority of his kills with. He's got all his kills on pistols so far. I guess Zagev double saved armor from the force buy round. Every little helps. Same with Tunic. But now we get our first full gun round. DSSJ has no opposition with the AWP. We were speaking mostly about Danis, but DSSJ, he could turn everything upside down, and he could end up potentially winning out this AWP duel very early on, considering he's going to be maybe getting a free kill on to Vert. Jump peak spotted. He's not holding for the jump peak, he's holding for wide swing. And it's going to allow for his rifles to walk out, but unsuspectingly, Fozzle peeks up from stairs and just gets a free kill.
It seems like a bit of a misplay to not have eyes on that, but numbers advantage here already for Team Space. They're going to be feeling good about that one. Bomb is still in spawn. Just bear that one in mind. It looks like, yep, there you go. They've realized that they're heading on back. And while that's happening, a couple of extra kills here for ARCRED as well to bring the numbers back into their favor. Maybe Space getting a little bit antsy. And ARCRED will take full advantage. Now Bomb is posturing over towards A. Space have a lot of, well, space to work with here. They could do that in circle trap. Again, it could work out fantastically for them. And with Vert still on site, it can be a difficult position to hold. But if he's good for even just one, it might give them the little bit of time that they need to stall a bit longer and get those rotations in position.
Oh, the issue is they don't know if if they've gone underpass or T-spawn, but I think, oh, the bomb's going to get dropped. DSSJ dropped. That's also the utility. So they're jumping out with no flashbang. This is so easy for Vert. He just had to get one USEP, but he's going to get two SHG. Turning this round on its head. A 1 versus 3. He's already found the brace. Danis, who dropped the bomb. Here's the sound cues. Swings off. And Team Space, honestly, never should have won that round. But Danis at least can clutch up the 1 versus 1.
I love the encirclement tactics from Team Space. Just constantly trying to have map control and map presence at every possible moment. Why give up a free flank? Go for it. See if you can make something happen. And twice now, those flanks have actually made magic happen for them. Keep that up. It's so difficult to deal with encirclement, and it might be something that ARCRED aren't as aren't expecting necessarily. So keep them uncomfortable. I think also going back for the bombs so late in the round was definitely an issue. But there's DSSJ. You said he was one to look out for with the AWP, and that's a beautiful opener here over towards the B side. That's going to pull a rotation, and that's going to create a lot of opportunity for ARCRED to pivot.
It's kind of worst case scenario. Team Space now have to anchor down the extremities. They've got their AWPer who will do very well to clear out B apartments, but the issue is he's so far strayed. I think having the AWP here is good for finding the space, but then you have now him just segregated, and with this massive gap in middle that's being created because of that opening kill, you can see Invisible is getting frags towards B, Jekka getting frags towards A. This is kind of pandemonium, and ARCRED, they're coming out the other side. Invisible has just got them both on B. They did not anticipate someone to be coming through Murder Hole, even though they had no control there. ARCRED, this was such a simple round, all because of DSSJ's opener with the AWP.
No, but can we talk about the fact that Invisible does that with a Tech 9? He out-snipes the sniper with a Tech 9. Poor Danis, man. Spots him, moves out, tries to readjust, get the gun back up and locked and loaded, and he just gets shut down by a pistol. That is heartbreaking. Not how they wanted that round to go, but ARCRED gonna be really, really happy with that. I like the slower play style as well. Even when they have numbers advantage, even when they know rotations have been pulled and they've got a lot of space to work with, they keep that kind of heavier lean into like a default, kind of playing for picks a little bit. And then when it gets towards the end of the round, they're like, we don't really need to plant the bomb. Everybody's dead. It's not always gonna work, but so far so good.
It's kind of the perfect round from ARCRED. And they've actually been playing some really nice T-side rounds. Even that previous... Eco win. Oh my god, they're getting a lot of damage. Oh my god, they won. Wait, what? How did they all just die? What just happened? I was singing the praises of ARCRED, and in a split second the USPs get popped in middle, one flashbang, it completely takes them off guard, and Team Space just won a full USP round. What just happened?
The worst part of that is that, like, ARCRED, they've been fairly dynamic with their approaches. They don't all just walk down middle hand in hand. This is maybe the second or third round that they've shown strong mid presence, and Team Space go, yeah, that's what we're doing. Everybody converge on mid with a flashbang. That's exactly what's going to work out. Absolutely unreal round. ARCRED going to be feeling that, and of course, beautiful 2 openers here from Space again in mid. They realize this is probably a weak point that they can exploit, and ARCRED have to bring this back with 2 players left alive now.
I'm honestly still kind of in shock. I was watching that last round and I still don't really know what happened. Like, I'm really confused at how they all, like, I was watching, I think it went 1-for-1 at first or whatever, and then Team Space just all died. Oh no, sorry, ARCRED just all died. And I was watching, what's just happened? And now, like, they get shut down really early on in middle. This is all of a sudden the momentum trajectory going back in favor of Team Space in a real brutal way. It's going to be ARCRED their time on an eco, see if they can get an eco win. And Team Space doing it really cleanly, building up a substantial economy. And I don't think they even really know what's just happened.
See, this is my thing. I feel like the end of that pistol or that eco round needed to be a timeout. Because you and I were still processing. There's no way the players had processed that. Like, you need a moment to just have the moment. And unfortunately, you know, they're straight into the next round, guns blazing. They're still trying to deal with what just happened, and they get absolutely shut down. But, okay, you mentioned possibly a reverse eco. It's a good opener here from Get Jacker. Numbers a little bit more even here. There you go. Ferrari swing to get yet another one. It's a double hold here, waiting for Dennis to stop, and there you go. It's a great kill from Invisible. I mean, this is insane. Already up to 3v2. 2 guns recovered for ARCRED as well. Team Space fumbling the ball here a bit.
Oh my god, Stinix. I was literally about to say he's got 1 kill going into this round. He's the player we were hyping up the most. This is almost back-to-back eco wins for either side. Full ecos pretty much. Look, there's no armor on the board for the T side. It was Glocks and like the odd Deagle and Tech 9. What is going on? This is the 9th round of the series, and we've had 2 full eco wins.
Yeah, it's certainly been something. And so we're so close to the half now, and it's been so back and forth, and it just begs the question, what happens in the next round? We're constantly changing things up, changing our position, changing our pacing, changing everything. Oh, I like this. Oh, come on, get one. Oh, one there would have been great. Unfortunately, not to be.
I just, like, I mean, it doesn't even matter if I guess I kill. Like, what are they saving? 1 AK? Like, I think they're more than happy with this round. Orps out for DSSJ. Stinix with I think also himself, like, getting big momentum frags, right? Like, you're getting 2 kills on an eco round. You're probably struggling at the start. Boom, you're back into it. Invisible's playing really well. And Team Space, like, they should be 5-4. It shouldn't be the other way round. First time I think we've got an AWP out for both sides now, so this is maybe restoring it back to normality. Team Space surprisingly having enough money. I guess that was because they also won their full eco rounds, so they had loads of money in the bank account. Danis, very aggressive with the AWP, and he's been over towards these B apartments before. He has succeeded, and now he's going to probably be ending up doing it again. He just needs to hold his nerve. Like, he just needs to hold this angle, not fidget, not move around, and he's going to be getting a free kill. This Molotov, not going to tickle anybody, but that should have been a sound cue from Vert onto Get Jekka that he jumped away, and now... Good shot from Danis. Don't think they were anticipating the AWP to be there of all weapons, and Team Space now with the opening kill. Where does the bomb go from this? Are they still going to try commit to this short wrap that they have been building up?
Yeah, I mean, given how that last round went, the fact that they can still buy into an AWP is kind of astounding. And oh my god, the missed shot! No! Oh, they've they've just handed that to Team Space on a silver platter. Danis will get yet another one for himself in this round. 2 players left. Nope, because they just run into Danis. It's completely dry. SHG, you're the last one left, man. No utility. Bomb not in hand. You're going to try and get away. Oh, okay, he's still going to go for this. Surely they know he's here, though. So now it's about survival. Yeah, it's all about survival here. Get a pick or 2. Hope to God you can make it to the next round.
Oh, Zagev should be backstab. What?
What?
Zagev, hello. Eyes? I think he cleared hard
left. The left angle. Yeah.
I would have just assumed that he hugged the left wall and just would have seen right, but I think he hugged the right wall and then went left. So he actually didn't see anyone on the right. But okay, lose a Felico, against a Felico rather, and then win against the full buy, because obviously, look, I don't even. Now, welcome back, Sam. This is definitely one of the more wackier games I've observed in recent history.
You know what? At least it's fun.
At least it's fun. This is when the Tech 9s get an ace.
Alright, well, that first shot from Danis didn't get a whole lot done. And he was forced off the angle here, so a little bit of space garnered for ARCRED, but they're kind of trapped in mid now. And again, Team Space with great encirclement. That first kill to come through here. Now, where do ARCRED go? They don't have a whole lot of options at this point. They try to go through the underpass. Oh, SHG trying to get a little bit of info over towards A, and will get his head ripped off for his troubles. And we're still trapped in mid. There's nowhere to go at this point. And sooner or later, Team Space, they're going to figure it out. They're going to know you cannot possibly be anywhere else on the map. And that's when, there it is, the angle held. Fossil, good for 2. Cynic's last one. Bomb nowhere near him. As he peeks out, he loses his mind. And it's a 6th round for Team Space. Last round in the half, Freddy. Go on. Who's winning this round? Give me your best prediction.
If ARCRED eco, they probably have more chance of winning it, because that's apparently like what is happening. But yeah, ARCRED, that was a really difficult last round. Like they lost the opening kills, right? They were in the gnome. Team Space kind of had all the information of what was going on. They didn't really fight mid after they got that opening kill. They just chose to sit back on the extremities, and that's exactly what they did, and it works out perfectly for them. ARCRED now, they've won a full eco before. Can they do it now with the armored deagles, the Tech 9s, and splatters of utility? I'm not sure if Danis spotted them underpass. I don't think he did, but he had the right idea. Unfortunately, falls back because I think of the no one else really there to help him if DSSJ did peek mid, which he did. This boost. Wait, look at this boost in Sniper's Nest, HHG. There's been 2 openers with the Tech 9s. There's an AWP down, and there's also a rifle. Thank God Trunic's here on A. Thank God he's here for damage control, but he's going to have to get a whole host more because everyone around him is falling. Zagev rotating in, will be there for support, and the DSSJ, no AWP. He's on the Tech 9. Trunic's just naded himself, and there's a free bomb plant here.
Another absolutely wild round here where the pistols get so much more done than they have realistically any right. But now DSSJ has to check so much. Have a little bit of time to work with. Spots out one. Don't push this. Oh, if he pushes this, didn't even have to. And there it is. Team Space just edge out the win in the first half. We'll see how it goes after this break.
definitely one of the more interesting halves of Counter-Strike I've watched. We saw 2 full ecos being won out if you weren't here to catch it. Team Space, though, they actually come out with a 7-5 lead on their opponent's map pick. They're actually looking pretty good, apart from losing against a full eco. And now, can they pull ahead on this pistol rounds? They're executing towards the A bomb site. Get Jekka CT with a kit and smoke. He has to run away and wait for his rotations.
It looks like the entirety of ARCRED is just going to back out, play for a full retake here. Team Space, however, going to take that opportunity, take that space, unfortunately, to their demise. First 2 players get taken out. The murder hole is being watched by Nuke, and he has been such a staple for this Team Space roster. Now, getting pretty damn cheeky with it. He'll get yet another one for his troubles. 3 versus 3 here. 2 from ARCRED have pulled in through from the long side, on their spawn side. Again, we're looking at a little bit of an encirclement attempt here. Last 2 players from Space playing together, holding hands. A little bit of a distraction to come through. Now it's all down to Nuke. The bomb. He's on the bomb. He's in the smoke. No one to see it happen, and the defuse will come through.
Once again, it's Nuke losing a pistol round while getting a multi-kill. He got 3 kills in the first. He gets 4 kills there, 7 kills across pistol rounds, and Team Space haven't won one. That's really quite difficult if you're Nuke. You're like, guys, what more can I do? Like, what
Please
more
look
can
at
I get?
Nuke's KD.
Yeah, like, he's doing pretty well. Unfortunately, I don't think there's... oh, no, sorry. They actually won the first one. And it was, again, because of Nuke. He got the 3K, right? So, you know, you have Nuke doing pretty much everything on these pistol rounds. And this time, an ace was required. But that's... like, that was a perfect example of how Get Jekka should play that round. He spots them CT, falls back, waits for his team, and then just gets on the bomb with the smoking kit. Like, a really easy CT round being played out. And because of that, we're going back to this back and forth affair. With the T side, they get the bomb down, and they're going to be forcing into it, getting very aggressive in middle. Nuke, that 4 kills, that's a lot of extra money, and you can see it with the AK he's bought.
And he's just the right person to have that in hand as well. If you're going to give it to anybody, better be the multi-dragon that's been coming up so huge. And there you go, yet another one. Trades out the first kill that comes through from Invisible. So we're back down to even kill to. However, Invisible has a good spot on mid here. He does back away. And there you go. Peeks out at just the right time to get the kill onto Vert. Well, that's a nice little 1D to come through there. A little bit of extra space garnered. Still 2 rifles in hand. Nope, JK, just... Nope, JK, 1 deagle. That's all that's left. A little bit of extra damage would be nice, but an unbearably expensive round for Team Space. Okay. Can we make it a little bit more expensive here for ARCRED? Maybe get 1 more kill. Maybe make this force a little bit more worth.
I mean, the bomb is not the objective right now. The objective is getting the frags and, oh, just please spam the wall. Please spam the wood. That would have been, imagine if he just spams the wood, holds it, double dink on both players, and wins it out. But Invisible kind of got to take the cake there. The short player does everything in the round, and especially that boost at the you know, that boost that catches off both players and connector, like, that's a perfect reactive play, and he might even get the ace. But no, after time he tries to hunt down the T side, who wouldn't have been able to get any loss bonus, so he tries to, you know, kick him when he's down, take out the rifle, take out the armor. But Fuzzle, the issue with saving there is now he's very disjointed from the rest of his teammates, and he's actually, it might actually prompt a full buy, especially considering he got that final kill. Only 1 player stayed alive for ARCRED. Their money isn't great, and so yeah, we're gonna see the full buying being brought out for Team Space, continuing this force buy wars. SHG got knifed in the back.
Well, if anything's going to make it happen, it's going to be a Mac 10. I do enjoy a Mac 10 and that first kill to come through. How Zegev lives there, I will never know. But he does get that first kill, and he gets out with his life. So he'll be happy with that one. We've managed to...
Ooh.
Wow, that's brave. I suppose ARCRED not expecting much of a buy to come through in that round, so they get a little bit cheeky, push all the way into the... Also, not expecting the T's to still be in spawn. That is also valid. Like, why would they still be in spawn this long into the round? But it's a great read from Team Space. Now they have a 2-player advantage. They are heading towards the very site where the last 2 ARCRED players are, but looks like they might just be able to turn this back around, and they'll need to with the investment that came into this round.
Yeah, I mean, Zagev got that really aggressive kill in middle and then just resets back to T-spawn. And I think the attempt was to go towards A, they get spotted, go back towards B, then get the second kill, and then like, may as well go back towards A, guys. And yeah, ARCRED just kind of get caught off. They try to play as Bay and switch, but Fuzzle being very acutely ready for both of those SMGs that peaked out. And if I'm Cynics and SHG, I'm just saving here. That's exactly what they're going to try and do. ARCRED, especially because they only kept one player alive in the last round, which is the reason why Team Space brought up into this one. Their money is in a very poor place with no loss bonus. This is going to be a really hard next round for them, and especially Cynics, who was a player that I hyped up going into this game. Statistically, he's been their top performer. Currently, outside of that Eco round win they got, he hasn't produced much to sing about at all.
It's actually worth noting. So the majority of ARCRED, this is their first Challenger League season. They've been in relegation seasons, but it's the first time that they've made it into the actual main season, except for Cynics and Jekka, who were on a team together 2 years ago in ECL 40. So they're the only two players that have actually played in ECL before, and they did it together. So it kind of makes sense that they might stand out a little bit, although Invisible, I think, has kind of far outperformed my expectations coming into this one. He's just been playing incredibly well, getting a lot of space. So it's really impressive to see that. Look, the players themselves are not new to Counter-Strike. Let me be very clear about that. They've been playing in like CCTs and a variety of other tournaments for a very, very long time. But it's their first stint in Challenger League, which is quite a big step up.
I mean, I've actually been always the... my catchphrase being, if you make it out of advanced, you're worthy to win a major. Like, advanced is probably one of the hardest leagues in esports. But currently, this is going to be a really difficult round for Team Space because they're walking into the stack. The P250 gets one and a dink. Cynic swings out, but for null. These trades going back and forth are favoring Team Space, but the Deagle looking to sing. A1S alive, clutches up the 1 versus 2. Back and forth we continue.
Another round that they probably shouldn't have won because it was like really low weaponry, and yet they managed to make it work. This is definitely going to be a theme, I feel like, going through. How many overtimes are we expecting, Freddy?
All the rounds, all the maps, all the overtimes.
Hell yeah. It's a great way to ease me back into CS2 after the player break, you know. Low and slow.
I had a really easy best of 3 this morning. I knew that, like, obviously I was not allowed to have another free best of 3 of just like vibing and lounging. This has got everything.
All it needs is the damsel in distress. We'll see which team loses.
I mean, if Team Space lose this, like, they're done. And I think they kind of already are. I think they're already going to the lower bracket playoffs where they're fighting for making sure they can have a place in ESL Challenger relegation next season. Or if they don't, then they go back to ESL Advanced. And I think that is like soul crushing. If you make it up and then go back down after having a great first season, coming second in your group, only to a very informed Monty at the time, which 2 seasons ago would have been, you know, the Monty that we kind of all knew and love as the major quarterfinalist. I think that would have been the timeline of that. And going back to Advanced is a very soul crushing. It's a very soul crushing thought.
It's a very strong side B here. ARCRED now kind of have to book it all the way back towards A, but not too loud. You don't want to give away too much information here. And Space have no idea that this site was like free and for gratis when they first arrived. Now Flash out, making their way in towards the site. It's a Tech9 player to try to crack things open. Hasn't spotted out anything just yet, but it's Trunic who'll get the first kill. Instantly traded out. Jekka will get 2 for himself before he's eventually taken out. But Invisible, the mid player, so strong for so many of these rounds. He will get out-midded as Vert gets his. Danis 1 more, and DSSJ, does he just try to save the op at this point?
He won the round.
Oh shit, so he did. I completely missed the timing on that.
Yeah, there was no time. So there was only 20 seconds or 25 seconds when the execute started. And unfortunately for Team Space, even though they had Vert in Sniper's Nest, they were still somehow allowing Invisible to come up. In Ladder Room, they were still allowing Invisible to come up through Connector, and it completely catches them off guard. ARCRED, they gamble stack B, they push the extremity, realize it's clear, tuck tail towards the A bomb site, and in the nick of time, they go for those 1-for-1s, and they just make sure they can't really come out of ramp comfortably, whittle down the clock, and win by default. Time can be your worst enemy or your best friend, or it's the best killer in a round. It's the best player in a round, and ARCRED utilized that perfectly.
Well, time does come for all of us, especially me, because I was barely paying attention. I was so enthralled with the action. DSSJ caught out in no man's land there. Quite a few players waiting for him to peek out. That's a great opener for Space, offline. And they could kind of babysit that a little bit, make it very difficult to try to recover as well. So they're in with a better opportunity into this round. But again, it's very slow. Waiting to see if they can garner some of that space. Waiting to see if they can force ARCRED, or rather force ARCRED to get a little bit antsy and peek out unnecessarily. It's a great double swing. Beautiful spray down. And yet one more for Jekka. Fossil, not too much he could do there. That was beautifully timed.
Yeah, really beautifully timed. This A bomb site is under lock and key currently. Team Space, they're going to be forced on this tricky low buy where they're going to have the full loss bonus next round. But right now, they might get a Hero AK on Fossil potentially. But it's going to be Tech 9s and Armors. ARCRED, they're going to be sailing towards 11 and only one gun round away from closing out their map pick. And of course, we still got to have some tomfoolery, and Invisible has got the XM out.
Oh, where's Affinity when you need her? I'm sure she'd absolutely
The
love
XM is
this.
my favorite weapon. I almost won a collegiate season because exclusively our team only using XMs.
That's outrageous, and that says a lot more about your opponents than it does about you, I'll be real.
Oh, completely. Like, we had a very capable team, and I think a lot of the other teams were not so capable. There's some fantastic clips with me on the XM. It got nerfed on because it doesn't do as much. It doesn't get as much loss bonus now. So I think that was like actually quite. I think it's only 600 now, whereas all the other shotguns are 900. So you had this like really it was so overpowered in CS2. I don't know what they did, but like it just for some reason was amazing at the start of CS2. I think we're at the peak of advantage. You could just run and no one can stop you. And if you spam a smoke with them, you just see completely through it, and no one can do anything about it. But getting off the rails a little bit. Team Space, low buy round, doesn't win. So some normality in the server. And as I mentioned, this is kind of the big round. ARCRED, they win this. They're on 12. They've won the gun round. They're going to be against the low buy. And I think Mirage should be in their pocket if this round is won.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected coming into this that this was going to be a good map for them. Also, feels bad for Invisible, expecting an eco rush through apartments and just nobody ever showed up. So we didn't get to see anything from that shotgun. And it's not looking too great for this round either, as Team Space posturing towards that A side. Oh, no, oh, God! Oh, God, the cheekiness from ARCRED just pushing straight into them. One runs through. Jekka, however, holding the line, backed up by DSSJ.
What a
Only
shot!
one player left! And it's poor Dennis. His whole team has fallen like the pillars of ancient Rome. The bomb is in no man's land. There's no way he's going to be able to retrieve that. And that's going to be 12 for ARCRED. What a devastating way for that round to go.
Oh, DSSJ, deep in the midst of that war. He was straight in there. He did not care. He's the gladiator for ARCRED. Jumping up, swinging, trading his teammates. That final shot was salacious. But get Jekka, what I really love is the fact that they get that first kill and they don't do this like, because what you might see from a lot of teams is this really frantic, maybe worried, trying to retreat, right? You're like, oh crap, the execute's coming in. Let's get back and try reposition. Instead, they still maintain their control in ramp. And Team Space, firstly, I don't think expect him to be still close in ramp like that. And they probably don't also anticipate the AWP to be there as well. So there's so many different layers for that on ARCRED. And I guess the cherry on top was that just genuinely ridiculous final shot on the Palace player. I don't think it really mattered if that kill had come through or not. I think the round still would have been won, and quite easily, but it was just like that really nice, just like left, right, good night.
I love that ARCRED feels so confident in their ability to just walk out toward the T-spawn. Like, sometimes, sure, you'll get punished for it, but very often you're going to catch someone with their util out, or you're going to catch someone, you know, trading util, or trading the bomb, or whatever the case, right? And they pivot off of that so beautifully. Not a single timeout to come through here for Team Space. Obviously, now would be a little too late, but would have liked to have seen that at some point in this series, because ARCRED, map point here on their own map pick, feeling very confident that they can close this one out. Team Space in a bit of a tricky situation here. They do at least have mostly full armor, AKs across the board, but a lot of that util has already been spent, the little that they did have available to them. And ARCRED just consistently shut down any movement with well-placed utility, well-timed swings, and just getting in their face. And now we might actually see that XM activate.
I love it how they've won 2 rounds and he still has it. It's just fantastic. Zagev thinks it's a timing, and oh, he actually does, and he falls back as well. Oh, has he read into the fact there's a player close with that jump boost? I think that would be criminal if he does. And now we have this fake mid presence, or maybe Vert will commit to it and actually go up short, but the aim is to end towards this B bomb side, and you can see Zagev is still criminally aware of this player over on balcony and invisible. Oh, he makes all the noise in the world. Team Space, they have a complete read on this, and he's gonna be caught off rotating. They tried to go for this gamble stack towards the A bomb side, thinking that Team Space were taking mid control, but in reality, they were contacting through B apartments. And if he had just stayed on balcony, sure, he has no rotations in close proximity, but he still potentially would have been able to get a multi-frag and allowed for this 3 versus 3 retake, but runs away and lackadaisically gets caught off in the side of the head.
This is the really rough thing about information starve, right? Like, they genuinely don't have much information aside from that first kill that comes through, and the fact that it's just one person who kind of walks up, gets the kill, and retreats. You're like, okay, is that a lurk? Is that a, like, what is happening here? So they have to kind of spread a little bit, garner that information where they can, and it's the wrong read. And of course, they don't know that. They don't have caster vision like we do. It's the best decision you can make with the limited information that you have available. It just so happened to be the wrong one. So it's a great play from Space to give themselves a little bit of a stay of execution. But unfortunately, we're still on series point, and unfortunately, ARCRED still have so much cash to work with. Even if they lose this round, they still have ungodly amounts of money to use because they were able to hold on to 3 weapons in that last round. So realistically, there's still a huge favoring for ARCRED. Yet Team Space have to do something really drastic.
I think it's ARCRED they're doing the drastic. SHG in top middle. He's been left by himself, and a bit of squabbling it appears in middle. I think ARCRED wants to take that early fight, but now they're really conscious of potentially a B apps play, so they've forced the rotates away and are actually going into a default. Somewhat leaving the A bomb site though. Good smoke in Palace. That's gonna block off Fuzzle. It's gonna make it's gonna take like 10 seconds extra now for them to prepare these smokes. So this is allowing for the CT players to properly rotate in. However, if there's a smoke towards CT and if there's good flashes, then DSSJ is just going to get blocked off, and same with Get Jekker. And yeah, here comes the smoke. There is a grenade. The AWP still has one, but he's going to choose to get above ticket. Misses his jump, chooses decides otherwise. Shot in the back. This grenade not going to favor the T side. I thought Trunic had him dead to rights, but no. It's the man advantage now in this retake. The CT side, 4 of them coming from CT, and 1 will be coming late from short.
Some good space taken here from space. Please change your names, thanks. Still have an opportunity to make this happen. Here you go, instantly rushing through off the back of the flash. It's 2 kills. Will get traded out, but Fuzzle maintains that control. Vert with yet another one, and it's just DSSJ left alive. There were so many opportunities there, but unfortunately, Team Space play that so well. Dodge some of that utility. Don't allow any of those shots to connect. DSSJ will not be allowed to keep the orb. It's handed straight back over to Space. And as mentioned, right, ARCRED still have all the money in the damn world. Trust fund babies at this point. But Space clinging on for dear life to this last opportunity to take us to OT.
It's actually so pivotal that Danis gets at least 1 from his position, because he was the first contact, and the double was just the icing on top. If he didn't get a single kill there, I genuinely think ARCRED come through and win out that retake. If they're able to quickly get that kill underpass, and then in the 5 versus 3, just be able to react sooner to the player Tetris, to the player Ramp, etc. But that wasn't the case. And now Team Space, it's ironic that this is when they're actually taking their tactical pause, when you'd probably expect when they would like to utilize momentum, they're actually going to sit back for a second. And as you've mentioned, this is probably the final best opportunity for ARCRED, unless they get a save of some regards. They do have 2400 bonus, like it is something to work with. They'd love to end it off here. Cynics, if there's ever a time to come alive, this is the round.
Let's see if they can make some magic happen here. Posturing again towards B. A little bit of a slow walk up. They've managed to dodge that Molotov entirely. Okay, not towards B, just garnering a bit of space towards underpass. Fair enough. Bomb hasn't committed to anything just yet. ARCRED again going for kind of some cheeky, informational, aggressive pushes, but not overstaying their welcome. I like this bit of patience. SSG holds the line, spots the barrel of the gun, but can't win the fight regardless. That's the first player taken out. It's a numbers advantage for Space. No rotations to be drawn just yet, but now Bomb is making its way over towards B. My first gut instinct was correct.
Oh, this is such a perfect round. Zagev and Trunic should be able to neutralize the threat here, and Trunic is an absolute stormer, a barn buster, 23 kills. Both players on B now eliminated. DSSJ and Get Jekka, they gotta try and see if they can survive, see if they can save these weapons. Get Jekka, he's probably fine, unless Fuzzle creeps up on him. But the AWP here, I don't know, a lot of trouble wielding the gun gear. He's gonna need the touch of a Norse god right now, because I don't know if he's gonna be able to get out of this. And I think they're actually kind of giving him that space, but no, Danis holding the cross. That's the imperative part of this hunt. Like, you've dropped the most important weapon, and Get Jekka, as I thought, yeah, Fuzzle not allowing this. This is a monumental hunt for Team Space. It wouldn't have mattered if they lost everybody. And guess what? They should do it cleanly anyways.
And a timeout is taken.
To figure out what the crap to do now.
100%. I mean, I love the way that Team Space has been defaulting a lot more heavily this time around, or like more in the more recent rounds, right? Getting some really impactful early kills, and they've really made ARCRED very uncomfortable. We see them take a lot of aggressive space sometimes. We've seen them try to go for a bit of a mid-crunch. We've seen them try a lot of aggressive things. When they try to play a bit more passively, however, they just kind of crumble, and there's no time to reinforce. And by the time you're like, oh, we better, it's too late. Bomb's down. There's no point even trying. So, I mean, what do they do at this point? It's a great time to take that time out and figure it out, because of course losing this round, a round where they have basically nothing to work with, takes us to overtime. So yeah, the touch of a Norse god, not just in that round, but this entire round, it's really necessary.
That's a pretty good opener. Cynics called upon him. That's a great opener. Now, can they find Zagev?
What?
That 5-7, mine doesn't work like that. Zagev got absolutely owned. There's nothing he could have done about this. Falling back on this A bomb site. 3 players already here. Cynics will be in very fast rotation as well. A player on balcony, not cleared. Initiate, and also can get away because of that smoke. Somehow get a second. And you said there had to be a touch of a Norse god. There it is. Ferociously fighting their way forward. 13 will be acquired from ARCRED, and Team Space, they got gifted that taste of success, but flawlessly we shall be going to Nuke with ARCRED in the lead.
Trunic did so much on that map. I mean, our player to watch was Danis. He said that he's been having a bit of a rough season, but Trunic really stepped up, and unfortunately, one player stepping up is not necessarily going to be enough. And for ARCRED, they're going to be so happy with how that went. Started off very back and forth, got a little bit shaky at some parts. The runaway in the second half, the fake comeback that had them kind of on the back foot. But the important timeout, the decisions made there to push towards that B site, try to get that gun, try to get those early kills, and man, it works out perfectly. Anera mentioned it, our player to watch. Unfortunately, look, not a bad performance, all things considered, but unfortunately, just not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, actually, speaking of AWPers, when ARCRED beat Aurora yesterday, not even just on Mirage, but Deco had like this insane performance. So I guess it doesn't matter if AWPers play well against ARCRED, they're still going to win. And I think that was a really shocking result at the end there. And I still think that that was probably maybe even a decent attempt from Team Space. Like, look, we've seen how strugglesome this map has been for them. I think this does set themselves up nicely for the series. They're just going to be able to brush off the fact that they lost the last round. They definitely should have. Like, overtime, I don't know how we aren't in overtime right now, to be honest.
Well, that was ARCRED's map pick, and they do steal it away as expected. Our second map is going to be the pick of Team Space. It's going to be Nuke. We're going to find out, do we go 2-0 or do we go to map 3 after this break? Well, our first map was a map of all time, but it did end up with ARCRED winning out on their map pick. Now we head over to our second map. It is going to be Nuke, and we've already kicked things off into high gear with our first trades to come through here. Trunic to bring numbers back for his team. This bomb's making its way over down towards B. Kill happened over on A. Hasn't pulled the rotation yet. However, ARCRED very much aware of the fact that the posturing is down towards lower. But now things slow down ever so slightly as the bomb has now made its way back up towards ramp. Oh, Zagev in behind. Great shot to come through there. SHG, where are you looking? Not in the right spot, unfortunately. Is the bomb going to go back to B? It is. It's going back to B, where Cynics lies in wait. Suspicion, spidey senses tingling, creeping ever so slightly in the corner. The first shot's come through. He will get it. Bomb dropped. What does Trunic do now?
I mean, the round's not even over. Trunic has been the pistol god so far in this series. 1 versus 1, and Trunic, that's his second 4K. He's got 1 3K, and we've only played 3 pistol rounds. Trunic is an absolute demon when it comes to the pistols and clutches up the weirdest pistol round I've seen in a while, and the 1 versus 1.
Yeah, couldn't decide where the bomb was going to go for a hot minute there. Waiting to see where, you know, space opens up. It's like, oh, we should go A. Nope, we should not go A. Let's go back to B. And gets caught out, unfortunately. Bomb lost, but Trunic, the savior, once more. Great round for Team Space to kick things off here. A force buy, well-deserved for them as they crack their way in towards that A site. A little bit of damage done from the Molotov, but nothing that can deter them. Bomb should get planted very easily here with a little bit of util just to stall out any potential stragglers. And now ARCRED, the stack obviously not heading towards B. Now they are going back to spawn. Okay.
Don't let any kills go to Team Space. Team Space will get an extra... God, is it 350 or is it 250 you get from the bomb explosion? I think it's 350. A little bit more money, but don't get any kills on the Mac 10s. That's way better. ARCRED, just playing it safe. They've got nothing to save, but they're actively denying Team Space any extra econ. So a very, one would say, boring pistol round. But they invested nothing into that, so they have all the money in the world to work with. And I love the fact that Invisible goes straight for this XM, because unironically on this map, it is a very viable choice. I haven't actually seen where he's playing, but like if you're playing towards door, perfect. If you're playing towards ramp, even more perfect. I'm actually interested to see where he goes. So yeah, if he plays towards door, like hits or top hut, like it's actually really good. That's exactly what he's gonna do.
We'll see if they give him the time of day here. Oh, he's jumped straight down. Got pushed off by some of that util, so unfortunately his spot is taken away from him. It's a great read from Team Space. Now the execute should come through. Doesn't even matter. Full blinded, and he gets a second. Absolutely unbelievable scenes here as SHG will follow it up with another for himself. And now Danis, last one left with a Mac 10 in hand. Only 1 kill in this round. Okay, a second kill makes it a little bit better. But ultimately, it's a great turnaround from ARCRED.
Yeah, really, really good first gun round. That is a walking billboard to why the XM is really good, because realistically, it's the best weapon for that. You're kind of half blind, you're just randomly spraying, you hit a headshot, and then even though your teammate's fully blind, you can still make sure that no one's able to come out from hut. A very slow, disjointed execute. If there was maybe more players coming out of hut, he could have been overwhelmed, but Team Space, there was 1 door, 2 hut, and then 2 people throwing util, and the guy door came really late and just spammed through the smoke. Team Space though, straight back on the horse, straight back with a lot of aggression outside. They're wanting to get down towards this B bomb site, but need to be careful because these smokes are making it very difficult, redirecting themselves, possibly trying to wrap around main. Spotted. They do get the frag, but it comes at the cost of Vert's HP. He's on 1 hit point, but it is a 3 versus 3. With the information there's 2 outside, ARCRED reaggress.
taking some really solid control here. It is somewhat expected, though. They've managed to stick the needle somewhat. Vert, no! The timing on that. Sinks just looks away, and Vert with 1 HP will get that kill confirmed. That team Space can move in towards the A site with relative safety. Invisible has been a bit of a thorn in the side, and he's found himself a really solid spot here. So once that plant starts to go down, if they haven't cleared him yet, he'll be in a great position to stop it, but he will get very quickly traded. So it's great that there's a lot of time here for Jenka to get into position. Invisible, oh, no ways that timing. Do they know? Oh, and he's gone. And the timing for the rotation for Jekka is absolutely meaningless as Danis, he's got it on lock. He knows the suspicion is there. And very quickly, Team Space turn that right back around.
Ooh, that shows that even if you've got 1 HP, you can still be very, very useful. I think they would have cleared second vent regardless, but from what I think is that he jiggled, and then as he's going back in, the arm gets spotted, and holding his nerve there would have been way more important. Like, he doesn't have to jiggle door like that. You know, if he jiggles out, there's someone there, like, he dies first. He's shifting. Even if he has the right IP, can ARCRED, they're not going to try and commence with these force buy wars. They have the loss bonus. They also have a fair bit of economy saved up because they kept 3 players alive in the round they won. So there's going to be no armors, a few deagles, and just seeing if they can get any cheeky success done. But for now, it looks like everything farmed up pretty nicely, and Team Space will be going to a 4th on their T side, giving them this pretty early lead. And if they win the next gun round, you start to really question already this map potentially with how good this T side can be from Space. If they get those early round momentum, it's very hard to claw your way back in.
How's he gone and got that one? Yeah, a little bit of damage here would have been nice, and there's a few players that they could potentially just kind of tickle to death, but not gonna happen. The shot does connect onto Danis, which is not enough. Yeah, so damage would have been nice, but unfortunately they just really don't get too much done in that one. Now, however, this is where we really need to see something magical happen from ARCRED. AWP in hand. Struggling a little bit there in terms of the full buy. You know, you've got a few players without helmets. You've got just the 1 kit, but it's definitely doable. I need to see them be a little less antsy. It does kind of feel sometimes that they get a little bit over eager and get punished for it. Nice open shot there from DSSJ, and great to just fall away, play your numbers.
Well, with only 1 A1S up, the non-head armor isn't going to have too much effect, as the AKs do get 1 bullet headshot. So yeah, unless Vert does get initialized, then should be all fine for the ARCRED side. This opening kill now is going to give so much space for the rotations to focus on the extremities. We have especially SHG, who can be very active around the map. We saw him go towards ramp, now he's over towards A. 3 players here. DSSJ though needs to get this kill outside, because you can see some attention's being brought over by Danis. However, wait, what? SHG is just disconnected. It's a 2 versus 2, I think it is. 2 versus 3. What's just happened? So someone disconnected. Team Space have a player. So it's a 2 versus 3. Okay. Team Space, though, they have a player down towards Secret, and because of that, Vert is going to try run his way forward. Issue is, I'm not sure. Wait, what? The AWP wasn't spotting him? I thought the AWP would have been holding that cross because they knew a player was Secret, but with 20 seconds left now, there is 1 grenade. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be able to do much to get them out of ramp. They're just going to have to fight their way forward. Or good rotation. They get a good read that it is towards B, and ARCRED get their second round. What a weird kerfuffle.
Yeah, I mean, despite that disconnect, to still be able to bring that back, fair play to them. I was a little concerned about that round, just purely because they had such a heavy stack over towards A, such a heavy presence. So if there had been movement towards B, sure, you've got the AWP kind of watching the line, waiting to see if that cross does happen. But, and I suppose they were relatively close to ramp, so the rotation wouldn't have taken that long. It's still a bit of a gamble, all things considered. So there was a little bit of concern on that one, but they do manage to hold it down quite nicely. A little bit of early damage and great elevated position on that rafter. And again, it's such a standard position to be in, but I think that, you know, things maybe just got a little bit too chaotic there. So it was a great 2 kills to open it up, or maybe not to open it up, the site was already ARCRED's, but to just kind of whittle away Space's reinforcements. And then those last couple of players, well, they have to make a decision. Time's running out. They know the A site is nigh impossible because the last few players are all there. They have to make the rotation, and they do, but they walk straight into the AWP. It was kind of a lose-lose.
Ooh, through the smoke, Trunic, a good opening onto Invisible, who unfortunately hasn't been too active on the server after his XM double. SHG needs to be very careful. If he peeks up from Secret, his head will be ripped off. He also doesn't realize that Trunic has gone down the vent, so he can't escape. He kind of has to stand there and fight. Confirmation because of the utility. They're running into him. Knives out. It's very scrappy. SHG probably should have got 2 there and only will have 1. Now Trunic, the backstab comes through. Issue is ARCRED have already rotated down towards the B bomb side. Trunic has avoided Cynics, and Cynics maybe hasn't commed over to his teammates rightfully, but Cynics, the trigger discipline, lines 2 up. Will he expect the 3rd player coming down from Secret? But for now, they're focusing on Trunic and Cynics. I've been calling upon him, and finally, he achieves success. There's red on the trigger, and Vert, who was previously tagged down by SHG on only 12 HP now, has to try and clutch. Oh, the USP does not connect. Cynics has to complete it. Bomb not on the back of Vert. This reposition is single door open. I'm not sure. If it is open, there's a world this is winnable, but no, it's closed. So he has to make noise opening it. Cynics now has the information. He knows exactly where his counterpart is. Vert giving him the shoulder, giving the deep angle, but Cynics, a 4K. That was so fundamental to get ARCRED. They clinch a 3rd.
And I feel like ARCRED would have had that round in the bag, if not, once again, for Trunic, who comes up absolutely massive. If he's not getting those multi-kills in the way that he does, there is a real world in which ARCRED just run away from that. And of course, the trigger discipline waiting for those last couple of stragglers to make their way down towards B to get that double kill there. This seems a lot more in line with what I was expecting than what we saw in our first map. That first map was so chaotic. We're starting to see a few more vestiges of control here. We're starting to see some real game plans and some really good decision making. Fortunately for Space, now back down onto pistols. 1 AK just to try and tide them through this round, give them a little bit to work with here, but SHP has spotted out at least 2, and of course, with that being a boost, that's definitely 3. So they know that the vast majority of the players are going to be through this side. Ordinances to come through, HP slowly chipping away. Space is just kind of corralled here. They have no way to cross. They have no smokes. They have nothing, and ARCRED are just like, cool, we hold the line.
This could have been a really dangerous half for ARCRED. They definitely had shapes of Team Space, maybe running away with that T side. But now, we're going back to the normality of CT side Nuke dominating, or I guess, not even T side, it's just kind of individuals. Boxes on Nuke really do be very hard, because Trunic takes just over 50 damage from an AWP through the box, kind of skimming around the side as well. And these pistols, they're getting very good damage, but as you'd hope, they don't get more than just that. Only a kill onto the AWPer. DSSJ probably should have been farming up that round, but instead as the 1 player to fall, they know where Fozzle is. 20 seconds left, and he should be dealt with. Just don't feed him any unnecessary frags, and they won't. AWP be picked up by SHG, and ARCRED even up the score lines as Team Space for another gun round, but Zagev's got no money for some reason. And also Danis will not be able to buy an AWP because they've only got 2,400 lost most going into the round. So ARCRED kind of already in the lead at the start of this round.
I think Zagev not having money has a lot to do with that AK in the last round.
Yeah, not a fan of it.
Yeah, it was a risky call, and unfortunately it didn't really pay off too much. And as much as I said that this map looks a lot more kind of controlled than what we saw previously, it's just as close. 4-4 is exactly where we found ourselves in the first half on Mirage, just a little bit earlier on. Now we look to see which one of these two teams just eke out that lead here. DSSJ holding this outside. It's a great flash to give Fozzel a bit of space to move through, and he's going to run straight through that smoke. He can get in behind Danis. That's a great opening for them. Ramp has been left completely unguarded, and the Molotov to give a bit of space there means that they can just rush straight down. But ARCRED's rotations and reactions have been so good. It feels like they're already kind of posturing for it. 2 players already down towards B, and the moment that door opens, you know the cavalry's coming.
Great first shot, making life a lot easier for himself. He's pushing forward. This is either going to win ARCRED out the round or straight up lose it for them if he just instantly dies here. But I sense a multi-frag. I sense it. There's no utility. They're going to shift in and try to contact as much as possible. And invisible, well, he may as well be invisible. They're not aiming for him. That's 3. Need to be careful of Fozzel, but he's not really initiating himself. It's far too late. And SHG, the second member down in secret, is going to be able to deal with him. Danis finally does seek revenge for his teammates, but far too late. ARCRED, they take the lead.
That really felt like a moment of never let them know your next move. Invisible gets that first kill from way back towards Silo, pushes right up very aggressively, as you said, realizing there's probably very little that they're going to be, you know, that they're going to have to work with here. And if they do have a little bit of util, some flashes or whatever, he's in a good position to try to play anti and then play off of that as well. So great position from him, and they don't expect him to have pushed so far forward. Beautifully played there, and very much so the linchpin that kind of clinches them that round. Team Space back down now onto pistols. It's Tech 9s. I do love a Tech 9 rush, but with this little bit of util to come through here, any hopes and dreams of a potential rush kind of stomped out instantly. So instead they're going to have to slow down a little bit, try to garner a bit of space here, reclaim some of their space. They are finally making their way in. The Tech 9 will actually swing 2 kills to come through from Zagev, but they are traded out. Only 3 players left here. One has an M4 in hand, has managed to secure some sort of weaponry, and it is Nuke. He has been so snappy so often, and DSSJ, you needed to hit that shot. He's been hit or miss today, and that was a hit that needed to hit. Now Cynics has to somehow clutch this out. Space haven't picked up more guns just yet. This is a great opportunity to try to make this happen. Knows where at least one player is. Has to have a suspicion of the last few. Oh, dear Lord. As he sticks his head out, it's Cynics to shut it down. That's a great round from Space, but it must be said, a bit of a fumble from ARCRED.
Yeah, I think Cynics, anyway, he could have won that round if he was more right in main. He actually could have denied the bomb, but that's a really poor A defense. Like, sure, Team Space, they have the utility that gets placed down correctly. They have the nice entry path thing, but they don't do anything special. Everything they do is just very standard, very normal. It's really, like, it's not that special. And ARCRED just completely fumble, and that should be a big warning sign for the A bomb site. And I wouldn't be surprised if Team Space try and in these last 2 rounds react back towards that site because of how weak it was in that previous round. But really nice ramp aggression. He's got so much space, 2 players pushing forward. Now there's this crunch coming in from Hut as well. Need to be careful of that player in roof. In the meantime, Team Space taking good control outside. So both teams wavering control in one part of the map, but gaining control in the other.
There you go, DSSJ. Hit or miss, that one. That did actually hit. And it's Nuke to get taken down as well. It must be said as well, Space, as well as they're doing overall, individually, there are definitely some low lights. DSJ to get yet another one here. Yet another one! Man is absolutely going ham. Go on, make it a 4th. Ace question mark? These last 2 players are a little bit far away. slowly making their way in towards A here. Now, there is only one defender on site. This is a good opportunity to go. Oh, no. SSG checks at just the right time. Jack has got the cross. Oh, man. I saw a world. I saw the vision. But unfortunately, another round for ARCRED. And it's the last round and a half here. And again, we find ourselves on a 6-5.
It's kind of the perfect round from an AWPer, where you take this space in lobby with your rifles, you then get posted up, you get your kill, you smoke off ramp very aggressively, put loads of pressure in that position, and then rotate outside and pluck them apart at range. It's an AWPer's paradise, and it's really good rotation from him. Very good dynamism around the map, and right now, ooh, that was a good read with the nade on the door, but unfortunately not going to get anything for it, but SHG, with so much conviction, just swings outside. I'm not a fan of that swing, but with these outside smokes, there was no first one, so that should have ended unfavorably for him, but somehow goes in his favor.
Again, Space hit the brakes here massively. Again, kind of stalled out a little bit towards outside, waiting to see if ARCRED do get a little bit antsy. Now we'll start to take a little bit of space here as well. I feel like they're taking too long. They're giving so much time for ARCRED to find that cross-map information, to know, to have the inkling of where things might happen. A few shots to ring out. A bit of suppressive fire, nothing really connecting onto anything. Hot shots traded out. Nothing committed just yet. This is an interesting push.
How is SHG alive? Okay, you know what? He gets away with absolute murder, but Cynic's trying to help his teammate, falls in the process. Good pick from the AWP outside. Both Vert and Fozzle, they're in the know, and well, that's some extra confirmation with the HG. Shrapnel flying everywhere. Vert to smithereens. Fozzle now. A 1 versus 3. I think they have to know he was outside and towards heaven. That's exactly where they're going to be looking. 7-5, ARCRED. They are looking to end this 2-0. Can they keep up the momentum?
7-5 half. We've been here before, but on the last map, it was actually a 7-5 in favor of Space. ARCRED on their CT side, only managing to string 7 rounds together. Now, that's not terrible by any measure, but Space are going to be feeling pretty damn good coming into their CT side with 5 rounds to play with here. Let's see if they can get this in the bag, take it home, and take us to that third map, or if ARCRED will somehow mount a bit of an upsetting T side.
It's been all Trunic pretty much in these pistol rounds. He's got 11 kills in 3 pistol rounds. He's currently got dual Berettas close on door. This gets needed open. Please just farm them. Come on, Trunic. You are my pistol goat right now. The fact he gets 1 there is actually also mega impressive. If I'm Jekka, I'm getting mad. But the issue was Trunic didn't actually spot too much. He still hasn't got the confirmation of the numbers in lobby or whatnot. But ARCRED really needed to commit towards that A bomb site, and I guess Trunic just getting that 1-for-1 does block that off. Now here we come forward. There's no util, it's all been killed, but the Glocks, they will still reign supreme. Fozzle, Vert, now just Vert rotating in from lobby. Nice first 1-tap. There's 2 more to go, and they're both playing around the back of that bomb site. DSSJ will just be baiting, taking that contact, jumping in. Still hasn't seen Vert. Vert has actually crept his way forward. Unsuspectingly, he could have the jump here. That's the first. Expects the second, but doesn't land the shot. Cynics saves the day. ARCRED almost fumbled the 3 versus 1 post plants.
Yeah, that was a bit rough there. You were making the comment about the Glocks rating supreme. I will say a lot of that has to do with 3 players staring at you. Unfortunately, couldn't even get 1. It do be like that sometimes, but I don't think he was going to get too much done there. When it comes down to that 1v1, however, and again, it's that Glock that comes out on top. The pressure you're under in that 1v1, knowing the bomb's ticking away, knowing you need to get this kill, you need to get on it, you need to get that fuse. It can weigh heavy on a person. And for ARCRED, well, they're going to be feeling pretty damn good if they do manage to walk away with that one. They blast onto the A side, absolutely massacre everyone. And these last 2 players, not too much more to get done here. Zagev, we've seen what you can do. You make some more magic happen here with this pistol? Nah. What a great round, damn.
They used 1 smoke. And I think these MAC-10s, oh yeah. So these MAC-10s, they're gonna get dropped away, I think, because they only invested in the MAC-10s. Literally nothing else. So Cynics, you see, just throws away his MAC-10. Oh, actually sells his AK, so they're gonna keep these MAC-10s, but this time purchase some utility around them. I think, you know what I'd love? A rush again. I'd love it. It would actually work as well with the MAC-10s, but no, they're gonna go for the, they're gonna go for outside smokes. 2, so 2 went towards first, and yeah, not the greatest of util. Invisible gets caught off guard, and they go for this A pop, but it's a little bit more belated, and they just run into the utility, and also the stack. 4 players towards A, Team Space right into that, like a Harry Potter novel.
Well, unfortunately for ARCRED, they were looking to get themselves to those double digits, but yep, nope. Peak 1-for-1. Fozzle's gonna take that battle every day of the week. Great little 2-piece for him. And to keep Space in contention here. And again, you know, I was speaking about the fact that ARCRED did so less well than they would have wanted on that CT side, and you know, Space with 5 rounds, that's honestly golden. So that pistol round was really important. It's fantastic that ARCRED managed to get it under the bag. They've still got some cash to work with here, so we're going to see the AWP come out. There's going to be a lot of firepower here, but Space now in a really good spot to just kind of keep hammering this home. And again, a very heavy presence over towards A here. Ramp, Fozzle holding the line, spots out that first one. Surely must know there's more. Playing a little bit of peekaboo here. Beautiful, great little cross setup once again. And as much as there is a trade back, it's instantly returned. But DSSJ, he's hitting those. 3 versus 3 here. He's dangerously low on health, but that has massively whittled away the T side. And when you're on T side, trades generally favor you, but Space, they now have their number. They know exactly where they are. Space is limited. And that's just yet another kill under the belt.
I think Team Space actually didn't know where they were because they were going down towards Vent. They were maybe suspecting a secret play, which was the original plan. ARCRED wanted to wrap around that B bomb site, but with 3 players on ramp for Team Space, they're able to deal with that really nicely. And now this is actually perfect because those players who went down Vent have come up secret, dropped the bomb, and DSSJ is left by himself in a 1 versus 2. Finds the first, gets that trade, expects Zagev in heaven, but doesn't realize he's already crossed. And even though he's low HP, he's still gonna get his head torn off. ARCRED, that round looked like it was going well, and it's literally the fact that there's 3 players on ramp. They just never expected the second or the third to be where they were, and it completely catches them off guard.
If Team Space can keep setting up these devastating crossfires, ARCRED are really going to be in danger. And of course, with this round now, no money to speak of. Space looking to close that gap even more, and of course create a little bit more of a run in terms of the savings that they're building up here, that little bit of a slush fund to keep them going. Best spot? Ooh, either way, he eventually will, but misses that shot. And that's a free crossover, but luckily for Space, they're the ones with the utility. They can deny that Space as much as possible. And Space is obviously expecting some sort of an aggressive rush because you can see how heavily they've compacted this A to outside area. So they're waiting to see where this rush is going to come from. Which means B might be a shout if they can get across.
Yeah, that's kind of the operative word there. If they can get across. There's no util, there's only 2 Deagles, and there's a Danis who I really think is going to be stepping up massively with this AWP on the CT side. We didn't see much from him at all on the T side, and I can't say we saw masses from him over on map number 1. And yeah, he's just shooting fish in a barrel. Okay, the sidearms are out, and SSG will win his duel with 1 HP, but that nade will finish him off. So only 1 kill on the eco. ARCRED back on the rifles. They still have the lead. Can they stem the bleeding now?
That is the big question. Have some guns to work with, but Space have been pretty darn good. The moment they had a little bit of money to work with and some actual weaponry to back it up, they've not really allowed ARCRED the space that they need to make anything happen here. I'd like to see a bit of a swap up from ARCRED. Obviously, we had that amazing full A hit. We've seen a little bit of outside presence, but it hasn't been anything terribly decisive. And again, like Space, going for these super aggressive. I love this posted up angle. So close. If anybody peeks even a microcosm, there you go. Fozzie to get the first, pulls out the rotation. And the AWP doesn't even have an opportunity to get a kill. Danis will finally get one once the dust is settled. But now SSG is the last one left alive. This was a round that ARCRED really needed to kind of pull things back, but they weren't expecting that really hyper-aggressive play from Space.
It's one of my favorite plays to do with an AWP, and not just towards ramp, but I think you utilize it on a lot of other maps, especially with Anubis towards A main, where you have the rifler. Or, well, I would normally have the AWP go first. He takes the first contact, and then the rifle can swing. But there it's Fozzle taking the first contact. He clears the close angle, while Danis holds his kind of deeper angle. The one where I did have there was that Danis actually misses his first shot, and it's really lucky that Fozzle is able to get one more, and also just stay alive, allow the AWP to kind of recock its weapon and then reposition itself. But ARCRED completely caught off guard. There was a world, though, if Danis had fallen at the end there, it would have been a 2 versus 2. SHG would have been able to come wrap around outside as he got the kill on Zagev, who was very aggressive. Maybe that's also one thing for Zagev. You probably don't have to go aggressive outside, especially considering that your players are getting aggressive ramp. But it all works out, and ARCRED now relinquish
There we go.
The lead.
Licorice?
That was something. And Team Space, they go to 9, and they're also sitting pretty comfortable when it comes to the econ.
Yeah, this is the really stressful thing for ARCRED. Needed to get a little bit... I don't want to harp on this point too much, but this is the last I'll say of it, I promise. Needed to get more done in that first half. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. There's still a chance here. There's still 4 rounds needed for space to take this map and to take us to that 3rd map. So, ARCRED, a little bit of a spend into this one. Nothing too crazy, barring perhaps the AK. We'll see if the scout can maybe get a little bit done here. You're going to have to go toe-to-toe with Danist, who has been pretty darn good so far. He's nowhere to be seen. Zagev again, the advanced position, waiting for someone to just show a little bit of skin, a little bit of presence, and he'll get that first kill. There will be a trade to come through, however. It's still so deep in enemy lines. Good for the second. Can't connect onto a third. But ARCRED's still kind of trapped in their spawn, and Fozzel moving in to take Zegev's position here, to take up the mantle. See if he can pick up one for himself. No, instantly dinked out of existence. And that's guns given over. This is now winnable.
This is terrifying. Especially because, like, Fozzel didn't have to get aggressive there. He chose to go aggressive even though all the smokes were down and Danis couldn't help. He misses his first opportunity. ARCRED, looks like they're all going to stay and join up in middle. Get Jekka, got 1 kill towards Abe. He's going to come and combine with his teammates. There will be a rifle down on Fozzel's body towards Secret, which he can pick up. Danis, though, just can put an end to all of this. And I'm not sure if they're going to expect the AWP to still be outside. 30 seconds, they're speeding up. This is a lot of sound cues that Danis has got. Trunic then can rotate in and support from heaven. 2 versus 2. Bomb not even planted. Fantastic nade from Trunic lands straight on DSSJ, and Cynics, he sticks the bomb, will get it planted, but instantly will then fool Trunic. He supports Danis perfectly there, getting every single kill in the 2 versus 3.
Man, I feel like we can't sing this guy's praises enough. Another phenomenal round where he really does make such a huge difference in how that round is going to turn out. Once the guns are given over to ARCRED, I'm thinking, all right, this is doable. There is a world in which they can make this happen. But and especially after, like, Dennis misses that first AWP shot, and you're like, okay, we know where one of the players is. We've got some space to work with. Trunic instantly holding the line. Just denies any sort of hope. There's another round here of team space, hitting those double digits. Again, we're seeing a bit of that aggression. This time, not so heavily in towards outside. A great shot from Invisible. Taking Danis offline is massive. Big Krieg fan, by the way. If you're an XM, I'm a Krieg.
I was a Krieg fan in the Krieg meta. Oh, is this round really going to fall apart? ARCRED, they had all these pieces moving, and even though they were able to get a kill in main, the rest of the team were not poised, and they were not ready to react off that play. Get Jekka definitely should have been able to get that kill on Trunic. He jiggles, doesn't commit to the angle, and therefore we're still alive in this 3 versus 2 retake. This smoke is going to get abused. Same, simultaneously, there is this aggression from heaven. Team Space, they are looking lights out in a 3 versus 5. They don't drop a single player, and Trunic continues to wreak havoc.
It's another 3K from him in that round. Man is just, he's put his team honestly on his back for this entire series. What a lights out performance. That should have been an ARCRED round. But mid-rounding just seems to completely fall apart. They start off with some really great ideas, and as soon as we start needing to, like, adapt, everything just goes to absolute hell. Now they're going for the rush in towards the A site once again, and this time it's the A site rush that seems to pay off. However, the trades are there. They've made their way in on towards the site, but the bomb hasn't planted yet, hasn't even been initialized. They know that it's not safe just yet. Now, attempt to plant the bomb will come through. And it will get planted.
Zagev. Oh, Zagev. That's very dangerous for you to be the first player that tries to take contact, especially considering that you're coming from vent. Danis reveals his position. He hasn't got an AWP kill on this second half, apart from against Ecos. And as Fozzel falls, If I'm Danist, I am hightailing out of there, running for the hills. Instead, he'll stay and fight, and sure, he will get one frag, but it's onto a Mac 10, so... SSG, he done his job. He made that space. Invisible, he is fighting for this orb. Danist battles his way out, but unfortunately dies to the bomb. ARCRED, not a full investment. Even though they'd keep no one alive, I think they're happy with the fact they took out the AWP, because now it means a full reinvestment for Team Space. This full reinvestment might mean all of their coppers being emptied. So if they lose this round, ARCRED could sail to 12.
This is a very surprising turn of events, just in terms of, like, I'm not entirely sure they even expected that to go that way, and the fact that they've crippled Space's economy, or not yet, but kind of brought them to the brink here, that's a massive boon for them. But the big clincher here is that they need to win this round. And I mean, that's kind of be all end all. And with Danist getting that first kill there, Nuke somehow manages to fade away after throwing that. He still survives, but that's given over ramp entirely free and clear, so they can make their way down towards this B site. Space are not in position just yet. They are, however, getting ready for a little bit of an encirclement. No one's left A just yet. There's a little bit of paranoia there, and Fuzzle instantly pushed off of his position, so there's literally nothing that he can do to stop this bomb from getting planted. Finally, rotations are going to come through. Timing is going to be essential.
When does the thought of a save crop into your mind? Like, I'm not even joking. Team Space, sure, they have the advantage, but time ticking down. These post plants, they're already set up, and they're walking into the meat grinder. Invisible, he's lost his teammates, but he still is owning. Danist all by himself. What a quick scope, and he knows where his opponent is, but the AWP duel comes out on trumps. 4 DSSJ 11 has been found for ARCRED, and Team Space, they crumble there. They had found the lobby lurk. They should have been free to rotate down towards that B bomb site through vent, but it took them so long, and that cost them.
I could see the world in which somehow Danist gets that final kill, clutches out that round for his team. It would have been phenomenal for our player to watch, but unfortunately, ESSJ, I said it was a little hit or miss, but that, when it counted, he came out on top. Great opener here for Cynics. The winged Mac 10. Absolutely fantastic, and that's going to be a free and clear bomb site once again. Space, I mean, ARCRED have really conditioned them into this A. They leave almost nothing towards B, and when that first player goes down, there's so much space given over. A little bit of util just to push these few players back. Bomb's going to get planted. Realistically, there shouldn't be too much more than Space can do here. Bomb gets shut in their faces. Thank you very much. If you want to come through here, you're going to have to make a hell of a lot of noise and be caught out in the open. Shots to ring through here. Not too much to get done with the pistols. It's all clean up. Nuke good for one, but let's face it, wasn't too much more. How have we got here, Freddy? Somehow, ARCRED are on map and series point.
I mean, that last gun round was a monumental fumble. I honestly have no idea what they're doing not rotating down. Maybe cautious of the wrap around heaven, but ultimately it might have just cost them not only the map, not only the series, but their livelihood in ESL Challenger Season 48 and potentially for Season 49, as they might be dropped down to ESEA Advanced. That could be the first nail in the coffin. Good trade for Invisible. These trades all favoring ARCRED. Team Space now with Nuke and Fuzzle. Can they make anything work? Look at Nuke, who's already in enemy lines. He's already in T-spawn. Fuzzle identified. ARCRED have all the information, but they're trapped. They've been circled, but GetJekka fights his way out. Fuzzle, he's had a very slow map, a very slow series, and now to keep them alive, this 1 versus 2, it's fundamental.
He's so paranoid. He has to keep checking. So afraid of getting backstabbed. He has to see, where is this cross going to happen? Are they going to head towards B? Are they going to make their way in towards A? And ARCRED, they know that they've still got a little bit of time here to play with, so they're not getting too trigger happy with their decision making. They can decide to go either way, and this could be dangerous for Invisible. Oh, no, he's good. He's fine. Have they actually opted for the A? Oh, they're going to be going around. This could actually work out so well for Fozzel. He's in such a good spot here to catch them out. As soon as they come up the ladder, if he's looking in the right direction, and that is such a big if he's looking in just the right spot. No, he wasn't looking! A great round there from ARCRED. Jeez, I've lost my words. Unfortunate scenes for Team Space. They now go 0-4 in the group stages, and I think that any hopes of making it into playoffs absolutely dashed. There might potentially be a world where they can get into relegation. I think it's very touch and go, but for ARCRED, this could be it for them. They go 3-2 here. They're looking really good. They might actually get into playoffs here. Our ESEA advanced team making an absolute run for the crown. I am so impressed.
So 3rd and 4th, you go to the 2nd stage mid-seed bracket. I honestly can't remember. Can you make playoffs if you are in that 3rd and 4th bracket? Because I know 5th and 6th you can't, but I think 3rd and 4th you can still fight your way through, but it's a very, very long journey, right?
Top 2 from the mid-group bracket will go to the lower bracket of playoffs.
Yeah, and then I think it's, if you're on the lower bracket, if I'm not mistaken, because Sangal did it last season, they went from the first round of the lower bracket all the way to win it. I think it was 6 days in a row of best of 3. So you've already, like, you know, you make it through to the lower bracket and you've already still got so much worry and so much trouble. But Team Space, they haven't completely been eliminated from ESL Challenger League. This season, obviously, they're now fighting for if they can stay in ESL Challenger League for the next season, or if they go to ESEA Advanced. I think it would be season 52. So we're in 50 now, and I think ESL Challenger season is 2. There's 1 season to 2 ESEA seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes.
Well, I know that Advanced 49 and 48 fed into this event, so probably 50. Yeah.
Well, 52 because it's 50 right now. 50 live.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, Team Space, I'm not gonna lie, that's a really poor result for them. We were commenting on their previous history in ESL Challenger. The first time they were in it, they came 2nd in their group, but only next to Monty, which is very respectable. And then last season they were changing rosters amidst the season, so you don't entirely blame them for doing badly. But now, coming out of the player break, they went 3-0 in one of the CCT series. Like, they should be doing well here, and they go 0-4, losing to a team like ARCRED, which they simply should not be losing to.
Yeah. Well, my big takeaway from this one, Freddie, is that I am 2 for 2 on predictions against you.
Yeah.
So
honestly, you can take it. Yeah, I'll give you that.
You know, sometimes you got to go for the underdog, I guess. Recency bias reigns supreme. Very, very impressive performance once again. And shout out to our Kadir player to watch. Danist really kind of started to step up a little bit more towards that second map. But let's face it, absolutely outshone by Trunic. Great performance from him. Looking forward to seeing who from this group will indeed make it through to that playoff spot. Remember that there is so much more ESL Challenger League action coming your way. It's not over just yet. But for tonight, for Freddie and myself, that's where we end things. So thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with us, and we'll see you soon.